What's happening, G's? Good to see you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is the 9th of September 2025. We're getting into the CPI here. The NFP came out on a Friday. It was an absolute disaster for the dollar. Dollar came down, tanked. Labor data came out weak. Buy dollar or not? That's the question. We're going to talk about this. What is going to happen in the next coming days ahead of us here? The dollar has... It looks like the dollar has been finding some support here. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about potential scenarios around it. And I'm really looking forward to see, what we can do this week. Okay, let's get back to work as always. Let's get our ebook done. Let's make sure that you guys are fully prepared for what's coming. If you haven't downloaded this beauty, you can do that right here in the link in the description. This is your foundation. Funny enough, it's more than your foundation, okay? If you watch the streams with the book in your hands or on your tablet or on your phone or whatever the case may be, then you could see it more as a live book study, okay? We're studying this book together and we apply this framework. And we're going to talk about this framework a lot more this week. Last week was just a little introduction here. We had to start off the streams. We had to kick it off here, but I think it's time to get back on track and just to start going deeper and deeper and deeper. Let's get the party started, G's. Yes. Okay. Welcome, Stefan. Good to see you, my friend. Cowboy, good to see you. Andre, good to see you. Welcome, Ryu, my G, Adrian, Lucifer Thomas, my guy Franklin, MG Pern, Mr. Pern in the building, David, Matthias Nebosha. Thanks for the support, G. Ian, how's Thailand? I'm not in Thailand. Manuel, Danish, Hilton. The Grim Reaper, thank you, man. Thank you for the support, bro. Good to see you again. Desmond, good to see you again. Christian, good to see you again. TTZ, good to see you back. Just realized you came back last week. Was waiting for you for over a year. Yeah, well, last week was interesting. G. Harsh, Arona. It's good to see you all. Okay? Incredible. I want to wish the warm welcome to the group. All right, I want to wish a warm welcome to the LTA traders. The LTA traders are one of the most consistent traders I know. These are the guys that have been coming in and coming out on a day-to-day basis. They're not trading every single day. I think, to be really honest with you, no one should be trading every single day. I don't think that makes that much sense here, but I do see the consistency, showing up every day, putting in the work, doing their analysis. They'll see by themselves at some point if there's something to trade or if there's nothing to trade, if it's better to stay out of the markets. They know what to do. So we're going to, definitely include them on the streams. We're going to talk with them. We're going to see what they're up to right now. Andre, great example. Christian, these guys have been absolutely killing it. So really looking forward to that here. Let's get to work. Let's talk about the markets and let's see what we can do here. Lorenzo, do you still live in Canggu? Yes, sir. Still live in Bali, indeed. Adam, my guy, what's up? Good to see you, my friend. Okay, so let's talk markets. Let's go over a couple of layers here. First of all, the first thing that I've noticed, by the way, and I think this is pretty important, and that is that the dollar obviously came down significantly during the NFP here. So we have to really highlight this and talk about this, because this is a major reaction from extreme weak labor data. And in my opinion, this is all a massive buildup towards the interest rate decision here. So if you are a serious trader, you should care about, you should understand what interest rates are by default. You should understand how they work, how they move markets, and why it's so important to pay attention to this, and why everyone, and that's actually the most important reason, why everyone is so freaking obsessed with interest rates, okay? Now, what's gonna happen here on the 17th of September? That is in 8 days, 5 hours, and 36 minutes from now. We're gonna see a potential rate cut, okay? And the chances that we're gonna see a rate cut is gonna be roughly around 88.2%, okay? That we're gonna see a 25 basis points rate cut. This is gonna have an impact. Now, everyone expects the dollar to continue to drop lower and lower and lower here, okay? And I want you to, I kind of want you, how do I say that? I want to warn you for that shit, because everyone is obsessed with the dollar coming down. Right? The dollar has been coming down. The question though is this already gonna be priced in for the biggest news of the month? And that is gonna be the FOMC. The FOMC is gonna be there in around 1 week from now. Next week, Wednesday, we're gonna see the FOMC. And what you need to understand is that everyone expects the dollar to come down when there is an interest rate decision. And this takes me back straight away 1 year ago to when the dollar is going to be super important for us also for this week. When the dollar was around there. This was the 20th of September, the 18th of September 2024. Okay, Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. What does this mean? What happened around this period here? Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't know. But what actually happened was the dollar came down for around 90 days straight. Okay, it started to come down. The FOMC came. The interest rate decision came out. What happened? They cut 50 basis points. Everyone expected the dollar to dump. What happened? The dollar did not dump. The dollar actually came up around 10%. That's exactly what we talked about exactly 1 year ago when I made a video about the dollar is gonna wreck people. Like bears are gonna get wrecked. I even have a video on my YouTube channel talking exactly about that. What I want to show you today is I want to show you some macro data. And this is extremely important for us to understand. Not for now, not in the short term, but in the medium to long term. This is something that I really want you to understand and to see here, because we're talking about our framework. Okay, and this is how we overall, from a larger standpoint, create a real strong foundation. And if you are a professional trader, then I do believe that by understanding multiple different layers, then finding a way to simplify that once you understand that, that's where the magic sauce is at. So number one, macro fundamentals. This is on page 13 of your ebook, okay? And one of the layers that we've seen here is what we call the CUT data. And we are now getting a major signal from the CUT data in regards to the dollar, which I want to talk about right here. And that is the following, okay? And this is what we call the smart money intelligence. It's an indicator that we have developed. It's built around the CUT data, okay? The CUT data is data that actually shows the positioning of multiple market participants. And it shows you exactly how different market participants are viewing the sentiment of the market, okay? Now, what is happening here on the red line? And this is an extremely important thing to take consideration. Retail is the red line, okay? And if retail gets towards this section here, so below the 20%, that means that retail is in a bearish extreme. Okay, that means that most retail traders are bearish positioned against the dollar. Okay, how big do you guys think the chances are of retail being right in these crucial scenarios? Okay, well, we don't know that. Some of you guys say retail is always wrong. Well, let's find out. Okay, but this is why in our Discord, for example, we have what we call a library of data. We have gathered that data, we have gathered that information, and we have put it all into a form, and this is for the dollar. Okay, and I'm going to show you something which I want you to know for now. So once we start trading that post FOMC, this is going to be extremely relevant, extremely important, and this is where we will have that edge that no one else will have, because we have done all the backtesting, all the work beforehand. Okay, and that chart looks like this here. It's whenever retail, right, the red line, whenever these guys are positioned bearish, okay, this is what you can see here. Whenever the retail trader is positioned bearish, let me actually create this one right here. There we go. Whenever retail is positioned bearish, right there, and the commercials, right, the green line, we call that the smart money is positioned bullish. What happens with the dollar? And this is on the higher time frame. This is on the weekly time frame on the dollar. Oh, look at it. Right here, green was positive, red, retail was bearish. What happened? Price bottomed out, price came up. What happened here? Retail was bearish. When these guys became bullish, what happened? Price continued to go up. Retail bearish. Commercials bullish, price came up. Right here, price came down. So here it didn't play out. Right? It's not a given, it's not perfect. It's all about probability. Here, green, bearish extreme, price came up. And now to the most important data. In this range that we have been sitting in right here for the past 3 years in a row, look at what happened here. Green line, retail, bearish, commercials bullish, price came up. Right here, price came up. This was that last interest rate decision. Bullish, bearish positioned, price came up. Every single time when price came up, what did align in that section? Well, there's one thing that aligned very well, and that is the macro technicals. So this is where we go from step 1, the macro fundamentals, which is the CUT data in this case, to the macro technicals. Okay, now what are the macro technicals telling us? That every single time when we're looking at this zone, we were at least stepping into somewhat what we call a weekly demand zone. Weekly demand zone right here. Weekly demand zone right there. So this is where the technicals come into play. Weekly demand zone right there. Weekly demand zone right there. Weekly demand zone right there. Every single time when we are aligned and when we get that signal from a macro fundamental standpoint, and keep in mind, guys, this right here that you see has nothing to do with the charts. Zero. It has nothing to do with the charts and nothing to do with the candlesticks. It doesn't adjust to candlesticks. It is external data that gets injected into this indicator that shows you the positioning, which allows you to backtest this 10, 20, even 30 years to see how often price responded on the higher time frame towards an extreme. Okay, and this is why retail is indeed most of the time wrong, because 75% of the time, according to our data, retail is on the wrong side when we're getting a signal like that. Okay, and when retail gets to that extreme, to that bearish extreme, it's usually a bullish signal. That is real data to work with. You simply cannot ignore this data. Okay, now let's take this back to what we're seeing right now at the moment. And look at what we're looking at. Okay, retail was right here, is sitting at 26%. Okay, we're dropping aggressively. This means that retail traders are believing that the price of the dollar is gonna come down here. What is the most important data that's gonna come out? The most important data is obviously the dollar and the FOMC, the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Everyone is waiting for that to come out here, okay? Retail is getting more and more bearish. We have 2 more releases, or 1 more release that comes out here, which will see if retail will push into that extreme. If that happens, then we get that signal again, okay? This is when we will get an alert in our Discord and it says, hey, commercials are in a bullish extreme and retail is in a bearish extreme. And guess what? We are still above weekly demand. Yes, we have been coming down. The dollar is looking weak. I get this all from like an internal standpoint right here. Dollar is weak, yes. However, we still have not taken out, we still have not broken this weekly demand zone right here, okay? So when retail gets bearish, the commercials get bullish, and we're holding above that weekly demand zone, and the interest rate decision comes out, and everyone expects the dollar to drop further, what do you think will happen? What is the higher likely scenario that actually will happen? Okay, that is real data that can give you somewhat of a confirmation. Now, obviously, I'm not here to predict the outcome, okay? It may seem like we're now trying to predict something, but the reality is we kind of are, but not really, because we're not trading without a confirmation. We're not trading without a lower time frame confirmation, right? And right now at the moment here, the dollar has been flattening out in that range. But if this happens, and if price breaks down, or if the retail trader gets more bearish, we are holding at that weekly demand, and we break out to the upside, the chances of us setting in a potential short-term uptrend right here could be significant. If we do break out here, okay, this is where your real edge begins. This is where most of our LTA traders make the most money. Why? Because they understand the trend, they understood the history of the trend, they understand where it's coming from, and they also understand that they also understand the market participants driving the trend, okay? If you understand this from a higher time frame standpoint, trading the lower time frames with that confirmation is the easiest thing in the world. This is where the real money is made, okay? That's what we're waiting for. Now, until that moment, we're not going to sit here and say, oh, okay, so yeah, the dollar hasn't given us that signal yet, so I'm going to stay out of the market. Because the problem is, if you do that in this case, we would have stayed out of the market for multiple months in a row. That doesn't make any sense. So with LTA, we have that alternative opportunity, all right? We go to the internal structure and we start looking at what's happening right now, and we are starting to adjust our risk towards that, okay? Now that is the key difference between just trading lower time frame and understanding the higher time frames that come with it. So this is where the real money is going to be made. It's when we follow this clear step-by-step system from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 towards this and reverse, and just constantly readjust, get better, and execute more trades from that standpoint here. Now, one macro signal, and this is super important for you to understand, because many guys are saying, yeah, but I'm not a I'm not a day trader. I'm not a swing trader, so it doesn't matter for me. I'm a scalper, or I'm a day trader. So for me, all that higher time frame stuff is irrelevant. Well, guess what? If you have these confirmations from 1, 2, 3 standpoint onwards, you can take a zillion amount of trades with a much higher probability on the lower time frame, okay? And this is where the real money is made. So you really have to understand that even if you are a scalper or a day trader, I would say a day trader, if you can understand the total picture from a higher to lower time frame standpoint, you will significantly increase your overall accuracy and win rate. It's just a given. It's just gonna happen here, okay? Now, it's not always gonna happen that you're gonna have all the confirmations and you need all the confirmation in order to execute. But it's something that we are waiting for, and it's something that we are now fully aware of, okay? So we're gonna pay a lot of attention to the dollar, what's happening around here, okay? And while the dollar has been ranging and not doing much from a higher time frame standpoint, the retail trader has become more and more bearish, okay? I think this is important information. We're gonna keep you guys updated in regards to the macro, and to see how this develops. I want you to really learn from this, because if you understand how to utilize real data, how to incorporate that to your trading, there's no way back. there is no way back anymore. You can't live without it. You know, it's real data, real statistics, and number one, real backtesting that we have been executing here, okay? And keep in mind, we have been doing this for every instrument. euro, yen, pound, Swiss franc. All our external data is what shows us, okay? And we have turned that into an alert system that shows us when we get certain signals, okay? So we don't even have to look at it. We simply get a signal. We get an alert from it. It's all automated for us. So I don't have to spend much time on the higher time frame because I do already understand exactly what kind of signals we're getting built around that data that has been proven to give us an edge, okay? So when talking about the live streams and the trades that we're taking here, once we start breaking out of this expansion here, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to get back to the charts and we're going to look at the lower time frames here. Once we start breaking out of this range here, once the dollar is going to go into an expansion phase, I don't care if it's down, I don't care if it's up, right? I would prefer it to go up, but if it's down, it is what it is. Once we start going into an expansion phase, you bet this information will be absolutely crucial for us to execute with and execute on for the highest probability. This is where the most money is getting made here. The fact that many of us in our group became profitable, the fact that they became funded, that they were making a serious amount of money during the period where the dollar not even moved a flinch is very impressive. But watch what happens when we start breaking out. This is where truly we're going to see many of us thriving, because that's when the real money is getting made through. The moment the dollar starts trending again, this is where the big shift in the market happens. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to the lower time frame, because right now we're dealing still with that indecision here on the dollar. Is the dollar weak? Is the dollar strong? Well, just look at it from a higher time frame standpoint first. Okay. The first thing that I'm seeing here is that the dollar just tapped into what we call a 12-hour demand zone. Okay. On the other chart, it's the 8-hour. It's an 8-hour demand zone. You see how strong the dollar reacts from this at the moment? And this is super important for you to understand here, because this New York session, it seems like the dollar is bouncing and is reacting from an 8-hour demand zone, okay? This is important for us to understand when we look at the 30-minute time frame, because this is where the dollar comes into play right now, okay? We went from the weekly to the 8-hour, right, to now the 30-minute. And what we can see right now is that that 8-hour demand zone is holding up here. So the dollar is holding in that 8-hour demand. And every single time when we look at a reversal on the dollar, one thing needs to happen. And that is that the dollar needs to break above a previous trading range. It could be a range like this. It could be a range like this. But we want to see the dollar breaking out of a range, right? A previous trading range. I give you one example. And this is super important for you to understand, because if you understand this, then you understand how the dollar moves. And if you understand how the dollar moves, then you understand where the best opportunities are. All right. Is it on the currencies? Is it on gold? Is it on the indices? And you can see that right here. The dollar was stepping into a demand zone right here. This was the previous range. We turned this previous range into support. What happened? Dollar broke above that range. We used the volume profile, price pulls back, and it continues to go higher. Okay, that is an example of when the dollar gives us a reversal confirmation. So if that happens, that is usually the highest probability of a reversal, and that highly increases the chances of us succeeding when we're looking for an entry. Now, looking at it right now, the previous range is here. Why is this a valid range? Well, look at this, okay? We already got rejected today during London at the fixed POC, right? If we draw this level here, and we draw this range, you can see that the fixed value area low, which is on the 15-minute. In this case, the fixed POC here, it is the area where in that range the most volume is traded. If we manage to break above this high and we turn that into support, there's a really big chance that the dollar will continue to go higher. Okay, why? Because we came from higher time frame demand, we broke out, we pulled back, and we continue to go further towards the upside right there here. If that happens, then the dollar will continue to go up and the dollar will break out. You can also see that the dollar is trying to break out of this trend right now at the moment. If that happens, you have the ultimate confirmation. That means that on other currencies, we will be looking at short setups. And I will be looking at, for example, the euro. look at the euro, okay? Look at what the euro is doing at this moment. The euro is breaking down. What happened during London session? Euro tapped in higher time frame supply. It created a range. It broke out of the range. It pulled back into the range. And it got rejected where? Right at the fixed POC here. Now it breaks down. Now the dollar is breaking out. We're dealing with this range. What happens if the euro pulls back? Can we create a lower high? If so, then I am going to trade that lower high. And I'm going to look for short setups or on the Euro USD. And I'm going to look for a further continuation towards the downside on the euro, okay? There's a big chance that the euro right now is setting in that reversal. And look on the daily time frame. Look at what is happening here. We are still in daily supply. Look at what the euro is doing. Look at the daily candle. Look at how we flipped already. If we pull back into what I was looking at here, let me actually quickly look at it right there. And I'm going to just mark out a couple of instruments. And I'm going to talk about gold in a second as well. Previous daily right there. Yeah, that's right below there. Perfect. Anyways, that means that we're going to see hopefully a reaction to any of our levels here. If the euro responds and pulls back into this level, then I think a lower high is perfect for us to take a short position right there. Okay, and that means I will take a short position around there. I would put my stop loss above the range, and I would target the previous daily POC here. That will be my setup on gold, on the Euro USD. That's a short setup I will take all day long right here. If we can find a pullback here, especially if the dollar decides to break up higher. That could be a really nice setup here. So this is one I'm going to really pay attention to right now. And if you break down, then we will see that break towards that level. This is where yesterday the most volume has been traded, okay? That is our target. People tend to look at previous daily highs, previous daily lows, you know. I tend to look at where has the most volume been traded? Because the most volume to me equals the most interest. And the most interest equals the most opportunity. But if it's far away, it can also count as my target or my execution, okay? So therefore, that breakdown towards the previous daily POC is a level I would trade. If price pulls back, I'm going to look for a limit order towards that previous daily POC level. That is one thing if the dollar maintains strong. So far, it's looking very good. Another one I was looking at is the dollar against the Swiss. Dollar against the Swiss is breaking out right now. Look at the dollar against the Swiss franc. This is super important. Look at the 12-hour, which is one of my favorite time frames, by the way. Everyone is ignoring that, but we talk about this all the time. The monthly, the weekly, the daily, the 12-hour, and the 8-hour. Look at this 12-hour zone right here. Look at how we have been tapping into that 12-hour demand zone right here. This is our demand zone. You guys can see that clearly. This is a drop. This is a base. This is a rally. This is the retest right there. We tapped into that right there already, so it has been tested multiple times. You can see that we're tapping into that right now. On the 30-minute time frame, we created a range. We broke out of that range. If we pull back, then this is a level where I'm going to look for a long setup. Why? Because this is our C. We talked about it last week. This is our E. This is our R. And this is our C. So we're going to look for long setups right there on the dollar Swiss as well. And we're going to see which one is going to be the cleanest. Is it going to be the euro? Is it going to be the Swiss franc? Or is it going to be another one, which we're going to talk about in a second here? Right there, dollar Swiss is set up as well here as a potential trade setup right here. Boom. All right, so we have the Euro USD. You have the dollar Swiss. New Zealand dollar against the US dollar. Next one. Okay, and I'm going to go to gold at the end, because gold right now is super strong. I would never short gold, to be honest with you. Gold is really bullish. I'm not going to short gold. there's no reason to short gold because gold is just simply just holding up way too well. So I'm gonna get to gold in a second here, but New Zealand dollar against US dollar, daily supply zone. Look at that rejection at daily supply, okay? Higher time frame supply and demand, lower time frame volume for our trade setups. Why do I not execute on the higher time frame supply and demand? Because my risk to reward is going to be too low. I need to stay in my position overnight. I need to hold my trades as a swing position. It's just going to be taking too much of my time here. So on the lower time frame, we wait for an internal confirmation. How do we do that? Well, look at this right here. We created a range. We broke out of that range. We pulled back into that range. We tapped into the fixed POC. We came up higher. We tapped into supply. We're now shifting structure. If structure shifts and we break below this range, short setup, short continuation. So this one is actually holding up really strong. But if we do get a breakout for the dollar, then this is my confirmation. And that means I will place my entry there, my stop loss below or above that range, and I would target a 2-to-1 right around there for further continuation down as well here. So we need to break down first and retest. So it's going to be a break, retest, entry. New Zealand dollar against US dollar for me right there. Okay. So these are all my bullish scenarios for the dollar right now. Okay. The euro against US dollar is already coming up, by the way. So it's going to get very interesting right now. The dollar Swiss, the New Zealand dollar against US dollar. These are all the bullish scenarios for the dollar. What happens if the dollar gets rejected right now? Because we don't have a macro shift. We are still in a range. The dollar is still, from a higher time frame standpoint, just flattening out. We have news later this week. We are bouncing from support or from demand right now. What happens if the dollar is not strong enough to break out? Gold is the only reasonable, in my opinion, the only reasonable, and the yen. But the dollar and gold are only reasonable trades for me personally. I would still look for gold longs because there's no reason to short gold. Okay, guys that are trying to short gold are getting wrecked over and over again. Yesterday, guys were trying to short gold here. People expected after, for example, and I've seen this on my Instagram, people expected this high to be taken out, the Asian high to be manipulated, and then after that manipulation, a pullback or breakdown continues simply to go high here. I don't think trying to trade gold against the trend right now is a smart idea. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think it makes any sense to short gold right here and try to predict the top. Okay, most guys that are trying to predict the top here on gold, and they actually predict the top, in my opinion, you should ask them how many times were you wrong before that, because we haven't shifted any of that structure yet whatsoever. So right now, gold has created a range. If we break down here and we push back up above that range, you guys already know what we're looking at. We took this exact same trade last week on stream. We're looking at something like this, okay? If price pulls back and it's holding very strong around this level, which is the 36.35, which is this range, I might take a long setup right here. And I'm going to look for the continuation. I'm going to go for the daily highs right there, okay? I still have a macro target in my mind, and that is the $3,700 for gold. Okay, we'll see if we get there. I don't know. One thing is for certain: the dollar has been pushing up aggressively. Gold doesn't care. So what is gonna drive gold down? Clearly not the dollar, right? So if the dollar starts getting into that resistance and the dollar starts pulling back, what's gonna happen is that gold's gonna break out. Gold's gonna push up higher. Like, you want to see a weaker gold. The only way for me to say the dollar, gold is weak is if if gold responds really aggressively towards a weaker, towards a stronger dollar, right? So if the dollar bounces from demand or from support and gold does not respond and does not come down, there is no reason to look for shorts for gold, in my opinion. because gold is simply too strong. And that's it. Okay? So for now, I'm going to be cautious with gold longs because the dollar has been pushing up. And I think the better opportunities are going to be if the dollar continues to go up. I rather short currencies. And like we said before here, we are multi-asset traders. So this is where we can gain our edge personally. So if the dollar continues to go up here, these are going to be my setups. The Euro USD short, the dollar Swiss long, the New Zealand dollar US dollar short. Any of these three that looks the best to me is the one I'm going to take. If the dollar gets rejected and gold breaks out towards the upside and it does something like this, or it does something like this, I'm going to look for longs again. But I have to see a weaker dollar for that. Let me know if you guys agree here. Let me know if you guys like this type of analysis here. We're going to really, zoom out and make sure that you guys are going over. Everyone is trading futures. Everyone is looking at the ES, the S&P 500. I personally like to look at multiple different assets. I like to look at gold. I like to look at commodities. I like to trade commodities. Now, I don't like to stick with the S&P 500 and completely commit myself to that one instrument personally. That's just not how I trade personally. It's not my style. I don't like it. I like to work with multiple different assets because I just want to see and understand the bigger picture here. Tawar says, I'm new. I want to know which tool that is you're using for the fixed very high and the POC. That is the fixed range volume profile. It's free to use, the fixed range volume profile right here. Try it out and see what you can do with it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be back, man. It has been a long time. Last week was insane. And yeah. That's it for the session. We're going to just mark this out. Now it's marked out. We just have to sit on our asses. And that's it. It's that easy. It's that easy. Have to sit on our asses and be patient and see what the dollar does so we can make our decision here. How much have you backtested for reaching that strategy? I have backtested the shit out of this strategy. And not just backtested it, I have forward tested this already. Not just by myself, no, with a whole community. We have been trying to optimize, we've been trying to work on it. But the thing is, it is in different layers. So you have the macro fundamentals, the macro technicals, and the micro technicals. You could say that in reality, these sections are different, okay? So for example, this is kind of a different section from this, okay? So this requires different backtesting from this, okay? From the higher time frame, we use different data. On the lower time frame, we use the volume profile. So that's different ways of testing it. In order to blend these things together, we have this beauty right here. Juan Camila says, good morning from Colombia. Good morning, my friend. Where are you guys from? Let me know. Are you still living in Bali? Yes, I'm still living in Bali. Still living in Bali. I'm living in Bali for right now 5 years. It's crazy. Think about it. Dover King says, from my father's ball sack. Me too, man. Me too. Poland, Somalia, Serbia. Afghanistan. Serbian. Nice. Australia, Russia, Slovenia, Kenya, damn, UK, Romania. Where are the Indians? Where are the Indians? The Indians are gone. Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. They were just waiting for my gold, for gold to go up. Shout out to you. Pakistani Jupiter, great. Iran. Okay, look at the rejection here. Dollar fixed value area high. So first, the dollar got rejected from the fixed very low. That actually aligned with this trend, that intraday trend that we're seeing here. We're breaking down, etc., etc. So this was a valid range. Now we know it's a valid range. How do I know that? Because we got rejected there before. And I can see that because right now the dollar broke up higher and actually tapped into the fixed value area high right now. You can see that right here. This is what we call the fixed very high. This is the fixed very low. The red line is the POC. You can see how we're getting rejected here. So in my opinion, a break above this is the ultimate confirmation of a reversal for the dollar. Hey Lorenzo, do you mind doing a quick run through on how to know where to use your fixed range volume profile and how you recently use it on the charts? So there are a lot of different ways you can use the fixed range volume profile. I've been pretty much only talking about one way with you guys right now, maybe two. But everything is in the ebook right here. I highly recommend you to go here, to go to volume analysis. Number one, just download the book. We have the weekly volume profile, which we utilize depending on the market, the structure, the market structure. We have the daily profile, which measures the previous daily volume, depends on the expansion. We have the fixed volume profile, which we talk about all the time. Consolidation, manipulation, expansion, or consolidation, expansion, retracement. But in reality, what we're looking for is a range like this. Right here, okay? This is the one we use a lot. Then we have the swing volume profile. This is going to be extremely helpful when we are expanding really aggressively. So when the market is expanding and it's not really pulling back enough into, you know, a clear range or whatever the case may be here, we use what we call a swing profile. Okay, we draw a swing profile. That's really helpful as well here. All right. And then around the moment price steps into any of our key levels that we have marked out, let's say it taps into this level, we have something that we call entry models, okay? And this is on page number 56, the execution phase. Specific entry models built around our key levels that we talk about. Right? The volume profile is giving us levels. The entry models are developed for confirmation purposes for entries, stop loss, etc. here. Now, you can also have something that's called a dynamic approach or a discretionary entry. This is a mechanical entry. But I highly recommend you to really begin always trading the mechanical entry models, because this is how you collect real data and information. Okay, this is entry model 1. We have entry model 2. We have entry model 3. We have entry model 4. Now you could say, oh, so it's that simple. You simply just mark out a range. You wait for price to pull back. You draw a level and you look for an entry right away. Well, yes and no. The reason why it's a yes is because, yes, that's from a lower time frame standpoint what we do. But the key difference is the nuance, the context comes from understanding the bigger picture and understanding how X moves against Y. This is where we were putting a lot of work and a lot of effort into understand how the market actually moves. If one goes up, one goes down, one is stronger than the other. So you can really understand when to look for longs or when to look for shorts when you reach a certain level here. So if you follow this process and you start executing, you zoom out and you start learning about, the market in general, I can guarantee you, you will massively increase your overall success. Harris, Texas, I've taken a trade of the Euro USD from the Telegram channel. If you took the trade from our Telegram channel right now, then you should be in profit already. Then you should be in profit. Dali says, Lorenzo, I've never paid any penny to you. I used your book, LTA Concepts first version, last year. I have been blocked from Equity Edge prop firm after making 17% on a 10K account and 12% on a 10K account, both unfunded and denied. Yo, man, these are the props, dude. These are the, welcome to the prop game. You have to play it smart. You have to stay on a cover. Couple percentages, don't overdo it. That's insane, for sure. 100%. Lorenzo, what is your current portfolio like? You mean trading-wise? Trading-wise, 4 funded accounts, 150K, that's 600K. 1 combine, that's almost past. That's almost 750 plus personal capital. Okay, that sounds better. Hello, Lorenzo. Have you studied the market? Don Levy, last time you said long videos, so we'll make it later. Video love from India. And I haven't studied, met Don Levy. Not yet. Not yet. Mando Lorenzo, you are ignoring the value area high areas. No, bro. Value area highs are. You're right. You're actually right. Value area highs are just as important. For sure. 100%. How far until you pass your combine? I think one more trade and then I pass the combine already. Yeah, one more trade. Maybe two. I think one. One more trade. If I'm correct, let me see. Maybe two, to be honest. $6K, so yeah, maybe two. 1.5, 1.5. I just took a trade depending on the previous daily very high. Gold still up 50 pips. Yes, today there was a setup. There was a trade during the the London session. This was a good trade. This was a good trade. Let me see if it actually was what you're saying it was, though. No, I think the fixed range. You know, it's pretty straightforward. You have the range, the breakout, the retest, and the continuation. Now, there is no follow-through because why? The dollar is stronger. This is why gold is ranging, right? So this is why what I do now is I simply would mark out the range. I would wait for the dollar to show us weakness as an alternative. And then I would look to trade long, gold long again. I prefer gold to push down and then push up higher, to be honest. That's the way I would look at gold right now. That's why I marked out gold already. And I marked out the area where yesterday the most volume was traded on gold. Right here, the previous daily, POC. Then we would have our CME play, or AMD, or whatever you want to call it, right here. Or a breakout retest continuation. But the dollar needs to show weakness. And right now, it's not showing weakness. This is why currencies are interesting. Shorting euro, shorting, longing dollar Swiss, shorting New Zealand dollar, US dollar. That's the key difference. Stove Trades. Hey, what's up, bro? Can see the LTA approach has developed massively. Respect to you and the team, G. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. The main thing here is that we're building, and I think this is the most important part right now. All the individual parts are done with LTA. The only thing that we're building right now, that we're putting together, is the ecosystem itself. All right? So it's the bigger picture. You have your book, okay? The book is free for everyone. You can listen to it. If you haven't even putting in the effort, you watch my streams, you haven't put in the effort to download this book, which is 300 pages of information, which I'm leading you through on the stream step by step, okay? And I don't know what you're doing. It's free. Anyway, so the book, we have the streams, okay? We start trading on the streams. You start to see how the strategy works, blah, 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 right? I'm showing the results of everything that we're doing here with our group, with our community is shown by myself, but most importantly, also by other traders in our group. Then we have the Telegram, right? We call it the accelerator. This is where guys come in and they start understanding our day-to-day setups. Our approach is right here, okay? They come into the Telegram, they get involved, they look at my setups, they look at my market update videos, they start looking at other people's videos, other people's analysis. They talk about the book here. So for the people who are interested in joining and want to know a little bit more than just the streams, this is the better way to get involved here. Once you are fully familiar with what we do, who we are and what we stand for, we have the VIP in our Discord, right? This is where you're going to get access to our macro data, where you're going to get access to the live trading floor. You're going to get all the professional indicators we have been using to understand the data and everything that we have been talking about right here. Our full library, our alert system, all these layers come into play. That is the final step. So if you follow that process, you start on the streams, you download the book, and if it's something for you and you find it interesting, you can take it a step further every single fucking time. That's the system in a nutshell. Right now, gold is getting, sorry, dollar is getting rejected from the fixed very high. That's interesting. Euro is trying to push up a little bit. We're getting closer to our first point of interest. LTA is an ecosystem, every part connects, and when you use it all, results become inevitable. That's exactly what it is. What I really would appreciate, many of you guys are doing this, by the way, already. But if you print out your ebook, because a lot of people, they just simply want to print out this beautiful book here. We don't have it yet. We're going to get this in a hard copy format, by the way. If you want to pay for it, you don't have to pay for it because it's free. But if you want to print it out, obviously it's going to cost you money. That's just the reality. But if you have printed it out, then make a picture, okay? Make a picture of this book and tag me on Instagram, okay? Tag me on Instagram, and we're going to be doing some giveaways very, very soon here. We actually might do a giveaway today. Now I'm thinking about it. Yes, we might do a giveaway today. Yo, G, what's up? Advice for the ones who can't really afford your VIP membership. Is the ebook sufficient for them? That's the whole thing, right? It is all about the system itself here, right? That's the beauty. Like, the thing is, the book by default should give you all the understanding and all the information already. It's just how far do you want to take it? How deep do you want to go? You have the book, you have the streams, you have the Telegram. The Telegram is a good start anyways. Once you've gone through that process, like, you should not, think about the VIP. And someone will want to skip the line and they want to go into an express format. Yeah, the VIP is great, but it's not mandatory. Okay. John says, props to you. I was a VIP member last year. LTA was my thing long term, but I'm trading props now. I will use parts of what has been learned, so it was worth it. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, we have developed a lot of things. We have released a lot of things. You might indeed missed out on a couple layers here, but yeah, great. Dollar Swiss coming back down to the point of interest. The Euro USD coming up. Obviously, New Zealand dollar is not showing us. It's not showing us anything. It's actually, it is actually holding at this fixed POC level. It is actually holding there. It is actually holding there. This shows that the dollar is right now getting rejected from that high. $10 minutes for the NYSA open, 40 minutes for the 4-hour closure. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, and think about this. This is Q3. We're still in Q3. We're in the summer months. Watch what happens when we're getting into that expansion phase. That's gonna be the absolute. That's gonna be next level. Yes, this week we have the CPI. This is in 2 days from now. We will be streaming this obviously live, so we'll find out. Funny thing is, they expect a higher inflation rate. That's actually kind of ironic when they're talking about a rate cut right before or right after that. If this comes out much higher, it's gonna be interesting. Market expert, you starting perfect time because we will be prepared for Q4. Yeah, this is all in preparation for Q4. To be really honest with you, I had one of my best third quarters of multiple years. There were periods where August and July to me were mwah. You know, they were okay. But there were also periods where I broke even, where I didn't really perform that great during the summer months. This time we absolutely murdered it. Absolutely crushed it. June, July, August, absolutely crushed it. Yeah, let's see if September will be just as good. There we go. We got our man Andre in the building. Let's see if he's here. What's up, Andre, my friend?
Yo, yo. Hello.
You look at the Euro
Good,
USD,
good,
yeah?
good.
Look at the Euro USD.
Yeah, Euro, Swiss, and maybe some pound, but
Oh, you have a look at the
not sure
pound?
about pound right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, monitoring it.
Okay. Andre, my friend, you have been extremely consistent over the last couple of weeks, especially months, especially. It's been working well, huh? Been going well.
Yep. It is with the right help and with the right tools and with the right people and at the right time. Everything is going.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Romania.
Romania. Nice.
Romania, yeah.
Cool, man. Shout out to Romania. And yeah, let's keep a close eye on the euro here, bro. Coming close.
Will. Yeah, let's see the New York Stock Exchange open in the 4-hour closure.
For sure. Yeah, New York Stock Exchange open. However, dollar is pushing down a little bit, right? But it's holding. It's doing well. It's holding up. Dollar Swiss looks very interesting to me as well. Yeah, shout out to Andre from Romania. He's been killing it. I think one of the trades for today was the yen for sure. He took the yen. Such a clean trade here. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, entry, continuation. So nice. Shout out to Andre. Gold breaking out soon. Pre-New York Stock Exchange. In terms of the dollar, right now, dollar is pushing down a little bit here. As you guys can see, the dollar was getting rejected from the fixed very high. You still have to be a little bit more patient here. EU at entry. Okay, yeah. Euro at entry. Now we need to see somewhat of an entry model here. That would be nice. Give me a rejection. Give me anything here that shows us a reversal here. We're dealing with the New York Stock Exchange open, and the dollar right now is looking a little bit more weaker. But the euro is the weakest currency for today, for sure. You can see that right here if you go to trading. Look at the euro. Euro Australian dollar, Euro US dollar, Euro Canadian dollar, Euro Swiss, Euro New Zealand dollar, Euro GBP, Euro yen. Euro is weak. So let's at least react here, flip. Dollar Swiss secondary. Gold broke the range. Gold, yeah. If the dollar breaks down here, right? So if the dollar closes below this level right now, then it's a no-go for euro. It's a no-go for the Swiss. And it's a yes for gold. Gold is pumping, yes. Gold is pushing higher once again. Gold is going to be bullish regardless. We're not going to short gold. This doesn't make any sense to short gold. BSC gold, not good. Well, last week it absolutely killed it. Last week it absolutely killed it. The gold POCs absolutely crushed it. But yeah, you have the value highs, you have the value lows. You need to be a little bit adaptable. You need to know which one to use around which moment. We talk about this all the time. But look at this POC here. This was last week. Like, you can't tell me that this is not beautiful. First reaction, good. Dollar Swiss still a little bit to go, a little bit more movement. Yo, Andre, you look at the dollar right now?
Yes, I'm looking. Yes.
What are you seeing on the dollar?
I expect for this New York Stock Exchange to go down to enter more retails for the short after this small retracement, and hopefully to take it back up. But this is a crucial 30-minute candle because it's New York Stock Exchange open and 4-hour closure.
Yeah.
So
exactly
30, like you said.
That just simply means a 30-minute EM1.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
On the euro. Okay, perfect, bro. Leon B joined the group. Welcome, my friend. Leon, Good to see you. Ruben says welcome. Gavin says welcome. Haris says welcome. Christian says welcome. Nice to have you here, finally. I've seen you before. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Euro. Gold, obviously gold. Oil. First rejection, good. I like it. Do we enter the trade? What I do personally, I wait for an entry model to form. So let's say we create another candle right here. It's something like this to be shaped here. Perfect target. Is the entry model one? The first candle has been rejected right now. If the second candle creates a top, it sets in the bottom and it breaks the lows. I think that's the perfect confirmation there. Do you have an hour where you say, okay, now I don't open anymore and I call my day? Yes, I do actually. I do. You could say it, I mean, it's not specific, right? Sometimes volume keeps on going a bit longer. You know, it depends on the market. Sometimes the market just gives us more volume for a longer period of time. And sometimes not. Like sometimes it's just dead at like 10 p.m., 10 a.m. Attack on Qatar by Israel. So be careful when shorting gold. Yeah, regardless, I would not short gold anyways. Regardless of an attack or regardless of anything. I think that shorting gold is not is not the smartest move right now, regardless here. Wadi says, I think your book has a cooldown period after losses. What? A cooldown period? Yeah, so if you take multiple losses in a row, let's say two trades in a row, I would not trade. I'm personally not trading. I would quit it for the day. I would not try to make my money back. I would not do anything like that, regardless. Euro is pushing. We didn't break the lows here. That means the dollar is still pushing down. Dollar is getting rejected from that level we talked about. Fixed for a high. The disclosure is going to be super important here. Euro might be invalidated. We'll see if it flips, but otherwise it seems to be invalidated. This is where entry models come into play, right? We talk about this. If we're not certain, and if price is still not confirmed, then an entry model is the best way to get involved. 1 candle, 2 candle, third candle is the trade. It's a 3 candle play. What if the perfect setup shows after 2 losses? I mean, I barely take 3 trades during one session, to be real honest with you. So let's say I trade New York, I barely take 3 trades in a session, in a single session. It's really rare. Why wouldn't you take it from the POC if an entry model sets up? Which one, Mario? On which instrument, for example? From which POC level you're talking about? Yeah, good question. So because of the larger C or C play that we've seen after rejecting a daily supply. We're looking at the very low. We're looking at the POC as well. I agree. Yeah, just give it some time. Give it some time. Panza is so complicated when price reaches new highs. Usually when price reaches macro demand, macro supply, the only thing that is required is to just be a little bit more patient. Because the problem with this is, right, if the dollar, let's say, is at major support, higher time frame support, and gold, in this case for gold it doesn't matter, but for the dollar, higher time frame support, then you need to get that confirmation in order to say, okay, now I'm gonna look for the dollar to continue up higher. Because what happens here is it could easily break and then push down and trade further down. But now you're in higher time frame support, so that's gonna be very hard. So the only thing that's required is to just be slightly more patient, and that should do the job. Andre, my guy, looking at the Swiss franc. The dollar Swiss, actually. Yeah, that's another layer, right? If I trade futures, then if I would trade the dollar Swiss, and I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. Some of you guys know it already. I think most of you guys know it. But maybe some of you guys don't know it. These things are actually inverted from each other, okay? If I would short this, right, I would short the Swiss franc futures. That means I would long the dollar Swiss, okay? It's actually very important to understand. So that's why if you just reverse the chart here or invert the chart here, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Look at that. Okay. So that's a bit weird for people that are not familiar with futures too much. Sometimes this is going to be, it's going to be the opposite. Okay. This is for the yen, the dollar yen, dollar CAD, and dollar Swiss. Going to be the case. So if I take a short here, I actually take a long on the dollar Swiss, just so you guys know. Yeah, I'm actually surprised how strong this chart is holding, by the way. The dollar Swiss is holding up really well. Give me 1 second, G's. What he says, I've never been online for an NFP revision. How does the market react? Terrible. Don't trade the NFP. You can trade the aftermath, okay? You can. You know what happens during the NFP, right? We are all aware of what people do during the NFP. We talked about it beforehand. And where is it?
Four, three, two, one, boom! Whoa.
Oh, this is good. That is the NFP. It's the NFP. That is the NFP. And now I understand your question, by the way, Mario. Yeah, the thing with the fixed PUC is, let's say you get rejected there, right? But then you come back to the fixed very low and you bounce from the fixed very low. But then if you see a reaction from the fixed very low initially, you break above it and you tap into the PUC and you come down, then I want to see that reclosure again below the fixed very low. Hope that makes sense. Oh, the revision. I don't know. No. We'll see. GU seems to be better than EU. Well, let's see. We have the dollar Swiss as well. And the dollar Swiss is something that I'm paying a lot of attention to right now. Yeah, I'm looking at the futures too, indeed. You guys are probably looking at this one right here. At this level right there. Hello, sir. Please explain the relation and how the Euro USD GU react. Can you show it in the chart? So I'm not sure exactly what your question is, but what I can say is that relative strength is a real thing. And you have to measure that against the dollar. So the dollar is here, DXY. Nice drawing. DXY. Then you have, let's say, the Euro. You have EU, you have GU, you have NU, NU, and AU, Australian dollar, for example. Like, it could be if the dollar goes up, right? The dollar goes up this much. It could be that the Euro just goes down this much, but GU goes down this much. New Zealand dollar goes down this much. Australian dollar goes down this much. Right? It's all about how do any of these currencies behave against the dollar. And that can change as well, right? It doesn't always have to be the same. Unfortunately, that's just the reality. It changes. But there are many instances where you could have better taken indeed the Australian dollar short over the EU short, or you could have better taken the EU short over the GU short just to increase your overall probability. So the term relative strength is something that we really look at. And for gold, it's even more important, okay? Understanding relative strength in terms of gold is absolutely must-have, okay? Dollar here, gold here, okay? And people think that it has to be correlated all the time, negatively correlated all the time. That's not what I mean, okay? It doesn't always have to be that if the dollar goes up this much, gold has to drop this much. No, it's more about what happens with gold if the dollar goes up this much. Because there is a relationship. We cannot deny that there is. If the dollar goes up this much and gold doesn't come down, gold just comes down a bit, then what do you think will happen when the dollar reaches resistance? Usually what you're going to find is that the gold starts pumping, okay? Because dollar starts stagnating. Why? Because gold did not came down when the dollar was rallying to the upside. That's relative strength. It has actually nothing to do with the correlation all the time. Right? We don't assume that one goes up, one goes down. No, it's about the behavior. If A goes up and B goes down, right? How much does it go down? And what happens if then price reverses? Right, this is just basic market dynamics. This is what we talk about all the time, especially with gold. It's so important to understand the dollar. This is why I would never short gold right now. Why? Because every time when the dollar comes up, gold doesn't do anything. Gold doesn't come down. Gold stays in that range. The moment the dollar comes down, gold breaks out. That's what's happening right now. Gold breaks out while the dollar came down. Right there. So this is why if price pulls back right now to any of my levels, I would look for the gold continuation long setups. So that is just something to be aware of. Like, how does gold move around the dollar? If the dollar pushes up aggressively and gold doesn't come down, there is no reason to short gold. But if the dollar comes up a little bit and gold drops more than the dollar comes up, that is a sign of weakness, right? That is a sign of weakness. This is where I would feel more comfortable with shorting gold and would look for certain patterns in the market that would give me a short setup on gold. All right, let's look at the euro. Let's look at the dollar number one. Where's the dollar at? Is the dollar holding that support? Yes or no? Let's find out here. So dollar number one. Aggressive push. Aggressive push from previous range. Let's look at the euro. Euro is breaking. I think it's worth a short setup, yeah. If the euro breaks that low, dollar Swiss, same thing. Actually, the Swiss franc is looking the exact same, by the way. Swiss franc is looking very nice as well here. But anyways, euro reacts quite aggressively to that setup right here. Euro, yeah. If you break the lows, and we'll enter a short day. And Ninga says, thank you, sir. Big fan of your work. Love from India. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Pips a lot. So EU entry model. Yes. EU short setting up. Yes. Lorenzo, I'm able to predict the overall direction of the market, but I can't place the trade at the right time. I see you. I see you. The only thing that you need to know is you need to know exactly what type of patterns you would trade. You need to have an execution model, right? That's why I think that predicting by itself is pretty useless. But understanding probabilities and understanding when you think you will have the edge and understanding when you think the chances is higher that price will go indeed in that direction, when you get into a confirmation play, is where it's at here. I was also, when I started out in trading, I can guarantee you, I was obsessed with trying to be right all the time. I was literally obsessed. This is news, by the way. This is news. This is a news push right now. Wow. 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 It's good that we waited for that breakdown, by the way. Wow. That's why we have entry models. Honestly, to be honest, a bit lucky with the timing as well. But it's good that we didn't take this trade yet until we would break the low suit. Wow. Could still break down. It could still flip though. But yeah, anyways, it's still aggressive for sure. Very aggressive. Yeah, that was a sneaky move. That was a sneaky move from the dollar, right? 10 minutes before the news. That was a sneaky move. What news was this? Can't see it on Forex Factory. It was not even on the investing.com as well, by the way. It was... or is it? Or was it? I could figure it out right now. Payrolls benchmark, yeah. Yeah, so it was on investing.com. That is unfortunate because the setup seemed to be playing out. If we had that follow through, that would have been very nice. Look at that rejection, man. Look at that. Look at the dollar. Look. Uh, 15-minute closure, I guess. Without that news, you would have entered for sure. I would have entered. If news came out, we broke that low. Would have been an easy trade there. What news? Yeah, it's a sneaky one. I have to admit, it's a very sneaky one. Okay, it's the payrolls benchmark. It's marked as a 2 in terms of impact. It's definitely not a 2. It's definitely a 3. It's definitely a 3. It's definitely a 3. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, for sure. For sure, this would have been a a 3 for sure. This is a real high impact news release, obviously. That is hidden under the 2 stars, or under the not as, or what is it called? Medium impact. You don't use Forex Factory? I think it was the same though. It's not a Forex Factory, right? Is it? I don't think so. I don't think it's on Forex Factory either. Is it? No, you see? Yeah, I personally never look at Forex Factory. I look at investing.com. For me, that's the way to go. I personally like this more. But anyways, yeah, it is what it is, man. Euro is definitely breaking here. It swiped all these highs though. Swiss tapped into that zone. Actually did it perfectly, right? Swiss did it perfectly. Dollar Swiss. Did it actually perfectly. But yeah, news kind of messed up here. Big time. I would definitely not long gold right now. Look at the dollar. Look at the dollar in general, right? If the dollar shows you a candle like that, then the last thing that you want to do is you want to long the dollar. Go against the dollar. Look at the dollar breakout. This is a serious breakout right here. For the dollar. Especially if you close above it. I would not be surprised if gold breaks the lows, to be honest now. With this reversal based around news, I would not be surprised. Damn. John says, I call this exactly very bad news for the dollar. Gold drops. Go figure out why. US non-farm payroll benchmark revision points to 911,000 decrease in March. Yeah, that should be bad for the dollar. It should be really bad for the dollar. I agree with you. This probably shows us that the opposite is happening here. The bonds are coming down. Treasury bonds are coming down. If the treasury bonds are coming down, that means the yield is coming up a little bit. That has a correlation with the dollar. That's why the dollar is pushing. That's why gold is coming down. So that's why I would not long gold there. And this is why we just talked about dollar gold dynamics and how important it is to pay attention to it. a euro and a euro USD. The only thing that I would like to see now is I would love to see at least a 50-minute closure after the news, and see from there, because this was a major move, a major swipe, a major reaction from that news here that came out. Nasty. Nasty. I mean, if you kind of close it like this here, my stop loss will not change, by the way. So this is another layer. Let's say I would enter short on gold, on Euro USD here. Then I'm not going to get scared away by like a large wick. I will still maintain that same stop loss. Like I would not care about the wick now, the wick swipe to it. So now my stop loss needs to be above the wick. I haven't seen any benefit from that personally over the last what is important though are candle closures. So if candle closures are now below these levels, the next candle comes up, it breaks. Candle closures are important here. But yeah, massive volatility around the news for sure. Lorenzo, what's the fastest way to calculate position size in futures or CFD? So MetaTrader or what? For MetaTrader, if you use a, you have different tools you can use. You can download whatever the case may be here. For futures, what I usually do is I start with one contract. And then I'll see what my stop loss is, how much it is. And then I know, okay, I need to add on another 3 or 4 contracts. Very simple. On spot, CFDs, you need a tool, you need a calculator. Magic keys or anything like that. Yeah. Look at gold. Yeah, gold is dropping because the dollar is pushing up aggressively here. So yeah, gold shorts are definitely scary, or longs are definitely scary. David says the 50-minute candle shows a drop of 0.87. On gold, yeah. Well, yeah. You're at the POC, but right now, yeah, it's very tricky. Hello, sir. What's the best way to bounce back if a person keeps facing losses? I would literally just eliminate yourself from trying to win all the time, number one. But if you're constantly having losses, then either it's your strategy, it could be your mindset, it could be you not even having a strategy. Because if you had a strategy, then what I would recommend you is I would take 30 trades and I would simply use that to collect data and not be obsessed with how much money you're going to make. Because if you're not even profitable yet, or you haven't not shown yourself that consistency, because we're all facing losses, then taking 30 trades, having a clear plan, and forget about the outcome. Even if you lose all 30, that's data. That's information. I lose 30 out of 30 trades. Good. What did you do wrong? Next. I lose 20 out of my 30 trades. Oh, okay. I won 10. Now I'm almost break even because I go for a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. I lose more than I win. But I'm pretty much break even now. Okay, great. What do I need to do to improve? Oh, maybe X and Y. Okay, boom, another 30 trades. Oh, now I only lose 15 out of those. Now I'm profitable. Why? I win 15, I lose 15. 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, 50% win rate. Now I'm making money. Like, it's a gradual process. Without a strategy, there's nothing you can do. So your trades, the trades that you take, have to be of somewhat similar. If all of your trades are different, it becomes unmeasurable. So make sure that the trades that you take are similar. How do you get there? By understanding what kind of setups you need to look for. Like, we trade very specific setups. We always talk about rejections, the fixed very low, the fixed POC, the ranges, the correlations. Our setups that we take are very similar. So the data that we generate is all relevant. Like, it's gonna help us with every decision we make in the future. All the data that comes from this right here. So anyways, 50-minute closure. We see that flip happening on the Euro USD here. The dollar closed above a pretty important key level, which is this one right there. It's worth for me to try and see what's happening here. Vicky says I can vouch for that advice was the turning point for me. That's amazing, Vicky. Yeah, you've been probably killing it right now. There we go. Yeah, now it's pushing. Let's see if we can get some follow through here. But anyways, the dollar has been showing strength. The dollar has been pushing up higher. Unfortunately, dollar Swiss was actually the perfect entry. Would have been really fucking clean. But yeah, news definitely messed up there. There was no chance to get involved into there was no chance to get involved into the dollar Swiss from that standpoint. After news came out unexpectedly here. I am Niganes. I've been following your LTA concepts for 6 days. Through your streams yesterday, I was finally rewarded using your CMC strategy. Truly grateful, truly grateful. Yeah, your goal now, bro, is to stick with it, because a lot of guys are grateful. Why? Because they get into a trade position, they win the first trade, and they think they found the jackpot. And then they lose a couple trades in a row. And then they think, yeah, no, the strategy doesn't work, or this and that. It's not worth it to me. It's not going to be beneficial, blah, 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 blah. They start talking to themselves that it's the strategy that's wrong. Trust me, no matter what strategy you are going to learn, my friend, no matter what strategy it's going to be, you're almost guaranteed to lose that strategy at some point. You need to optimize. You need to learn. You need to learn about the strategy you're trading. You need to understand the nuances. You need to know when to enter, when not to enter, when to avoid setups, when not to avoid setups, when to limit your risk, when not to limit your risk, when to take profit, when not to take profit. Like, all these things that are coming into play when you learn a strategy is what matters, and is what's going to turn you from being profitable, from not being profitable to profitable. So I don't really care what strategy you trade, but what I want to say to you, my friend, it's cool that you start with LTA, but really stick to it. Really, really stick to it. Don't give up. Don't give up on it too easy. Okay, because yes, you've won a trade now. Your first trade is a win, and it feels amazing. I get it. Almost euphoric. What happens if you start losing? What are you gonna do then? Right? That's the thought process right here. Yeah, the second layer is guys that are obsessed with high win rate strategies. High win rate strategies, in my opinion, there are high win rate strategies, but the amount of pressure that you put on yourself is ridiculous. I think risk management is a much more important factor. It's something that can really help you elevate. It's going to really help you elevate yourself as a trader when you understand that the risk to reward is more important, or has a stronger importance than the actual win rate itself here. I can have a 50% win rate and be consistently profitable in the market. I don't even have to win. I can lose half of my trades. It maybe doesn't look cool on streams, or maybe it doesn't look good, you know, when I look at my dashboard, green, red, green, red, green, red, but the end result speaks for itself. Wow, this is boring. This is crazy, man. That news that came out was I have no understanding or idea why this is not marked as high impact news, by the way. What he says, interesting news. So Trump got a new plane from Qatar. Who will he support, Israel or Qatar? It's a good question, my friend. That's a good question. It is marked as high impact on my FX book. Okay. Well, good for them. That means that they've done something correct here. Something right here. Adrian says, fuck win rate. The most important is RR. Yeah, it depends. Some people, they like to win all the time because it gives themselves a better feeling. And I get that. But, you know, losing streaks are part of the game. Like, even with a high win rate strategy, you're going to encounter losing streaks. If you are unable to deal with losses in general, because you're trying to avoid them as much as possible, then, yeah, it's not going to be nice either. Right? And you put a lot of pressure on yourself. That's my opinion. I've traded everything. I've traded high risk reward, low risk reward, high win rate, low win rate. With high win rate, I felt I was obligated to win almost every single trade. And I had to find a strategy that would fit that spectrum. And I would be devastated by a loss for no reason. Another thing about high win rate, lower risk reward is that it's really hard to build momentum. And if there's something powerful in trading, it is building momentum, right? This is why if I would say if I would risk 1% to make 2%, and I would have a 50% win rate, and I would take 10 trades. We can actually do the math. Can do the calculation here. But let's say I would risk 1% per trade. I would take 10 trades. 50% are winners and 50% are losers. I would make 5%. And I would lose the same amount of trades as I would win. So the lower your risk to reward, the harder the loss is going to be. And the harder it's going to be to build back that momentum again. Because coming back from like a big or a huge loss in general, where you know that the next trade you're going to take, or the trade after, or the trade after, or the trade after is not going to make your money back, you're fighting an uphill battle. Matthias says, for now, gold is holding above the previous daily failure high. What do you think? Look at the range, draw the fixed failure high, wait for the rebreak of the failure high, and see from there. The fixed failure high. Do you chill chat with Tommy? Tommy, yes, I do. We call sometimes, yeah. I spoke to him a couple days ago, yeah. John, that's why I left so much emphasis placed on the fixed profile. It's a lot more involved. It is. And this is why we have seen the success rate going up dramatically. Yeah. Dramatically. Come on. Chavez says, warm greeting UAE, look at gold. Yes, we have been looking at gold. Gold, it's, the thing about it is, we talked about it already. I said dollar right now is holding up much better. We broke above a really critical level here. This is that level we're talking about. Dollar closed above it here. It's pushing up. So, you know, dollar Swiss would have been great. However, the problem with dollar Swiss is we got news, we couldn't get in again. Euro looked great. That's why we're in Euro USD. New Zealand dollar is breaking down, but it's still holding up really strong. So this is why we prefer to trade the currencies today over gold. Congratulations, John. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, very happy for you, man. And good luck on your journey. The fact that you're still here is incredible, man. I mean, a lot of guys have left the building. A lot of traders give up after a year. After a year of trading, a lot of traders give up. It's interesting, though. But, yeah. Haha. Did you re-enter EU? We did not re-enter. We entered after the 50-minute closure, yes. Your USD, did you take the trade? Yes, I did. Like I said before, after the 50-minute closure, we will be entering the position here. Dollar confirmation, dollar closure, not worth long in gold. And you see exactly why it is right now at the moment. Gemma says, I've been trading for 2 years with no payout yet. And there is this guy I know recently got into trading and got a payout while he is trading while gaming and stuff. Really pisses me off. I can imagine, bro. But you know what the thing is? Fuck what everyone else thinks. Fuck what everyone else does. It's your journey, my friend. You are the one here trading. Fuck what everyone else thinks about you. Don't look at other people. How would I describe an LTA trader? They have zero ego. An LTA trader has no ego, okay? Guys in our group, they are here in the trading floor almost every single day now. Zero ego. There is not a single dude in the chat that's trying to be better. Look how good I am. Look how good I am. You know, adore me. Look how much better I am than you. No, they're calm and they're confident. They're cold, calm, and calculated. And they don't care what anyone else thinks. And they don't look at other people with envy. Ah, shit, he's so much better. Man, the first prop firm challenge I did, I passed. You know that? I passed my first prop firm challenge. I did. You know what happened after that? I lost it. Right away. Let's see what the guys are up to here. Andre, Canadian dollar, Christian. Shout out to Christian, man. Christian has been also extremely involved, on point. Knows exactly what to look for. My guy. Lorenzo, what about they take profits? Like I said before, I don't do that. I don't like it. The data told me to not do that. The data told me to not take profits along the way here. Even if the price would turn around and would stop me out, over time my results are better when I do not take profits. Rather let my trades run. What I can do sometimes is I put my stop loss on break even after a 1R. What's up, Lorenzo? Welcome back, brother. Legend. Are you still out in Bali? I will be traveling to Southeast Asia and Europe for quite some time. Are you still involved at that gym in Bali? 100% G. Come over. Lions MMA Bali. Limitless is on the wall. Limitless is on the wall. Really big. You know you're in the right gym when you look to the right and you see Limitless. There might be a slight difference though between EU and and my Euro futures, but it's pretty much identical. Okay. What's your thought on NQ? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. This is why I just don't understand all these NQ traders and stuff, S&P 500. Like, unless you're scalping, right? During this period, I can get into this, okay? Look this on a 1 minute time frame. I see this rejection here, fixed very high. Beautiful rejection multiple times, for example. Beautiful, right? But during this period, you need to wait for a larger expansion. Like this is the Nasdaq in a nutshell for you right now. It's really bad. It's really bad. I'm not a big fan of it. For now, it might change. I hope in Q4 we're seeing a larger break, a larger expansion. That might change a little bit, but for now, not a big fan of it. Gold broke down. Nothing to see here now with the dollar being strong. The euro, man, today, currencies in general, after the news. Boring day. Lorenzo, please, I'm a student. I learn trading, but I don't have capital. Please give me $20. Okay, man. Since you first started testing the strategy, how much time passed now? Years. Years. To be honest, guys, I'm really thinking of cutting the trade here. All these wicks on either side from all these different candles. I don't like it. It is a buying area now, bro. Why? Because the Fibonacci told you so? I think I'm gonna put my stops on break even, guys. If it gets hit, it gets hit, and that's it for today. Honestly, to be honest, with this, just in general, people that want a long here, good luck. Truly, if you want a long here, good luck. We'll see what happens, but it's too messy, man. At least gave us that closure below here. Give us that follow through. Dollar Swiss is holding up really well. And gold was definitely invalidated today, so that was good. Good that we didn't take gold for sure. So yeah, I think we got out of the market pretty risk-free overall. In my opinion, this could easily go and it could still run and it could still just simply reach our target, to be honest. But then it just has to grow. It has to break. It has to go down. It has to close below the previous low. It has to close below here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep it very simple, to be honest. I'm gonna right now, especially because we've seen this flip here, put my stop at entry, which is literally above that candle, and leave it for that. If we now don't get that follow through, there's no reason for me to stay in the trade. So I'm break even now. I think on a normal day this wouldn't really matter, but who knows? Maybe we get our, we get our shine. Maybe it breaks down, it closes below, and it doesn't come back anymore. It doesn't flip anymore. Then we're good. But we're clearly thinking the right thing. We're clearly on the right side, right? We were in daily supply, or we are in daily supply. That's number one. That's the number one reason. So yeah, you can look at an internal swing and the Fibonacci for the pullback, but the reality is, on the higher time frame, we're getting rejected from a daily supply zone. Dollar, right, is clearly holding above or bouncing off of a 12-hour demand zone, so that clearly has priority. Now, from an internal standpoint, we created that C or C formation and we broke structure already. So when we pulled back and we pulled into this range and we managed to stay below that previous range here, and we used this as resistance, shorts is the only, in my opinion, logical move, the only logical way of looking at the market right now. However, if price starts to just, range and it starts to just go like this, yeah, this can take forever. So shorts have definitely priority. You can try to buy into daily supply, or we expect price to come back to the opening price of the week here on the spot chart, the Sunday open, which is the target, by the way. This is where the weekly candle will flip bearish if we do decide to roll over here. That was the target, or our target for that reason. But anyways, we are break even here. If price pulls back into it, I'm out. Literally just came to our entry and still didn't decide to flip bearish or bullish. Continue to go up higher. So if you're new to this channel and you want to join my journey on the daily live stream series, you want to go with us through the LTA Concepts Trading War Map, you want to study this with me together here, this is why you can download this beautiful book here for free by clicking in the link in the description. It's a big motherfucking book. And 3 days a week, I will be live on stream covering this book in real time. Look at the real-time markets, obviously taking trades as well, just for the sake of it. Not because I have something to prove, but just because I get why you want to learn how to trade a strategy when you see it happening in real time. Gold longs possible. I mean, if you're not in position already now, in general, in a trade, then the chances that you are going to be stuck in a position for a long time is significantly higher. This is September. Volume already died down a bit. You can see it in general. I've helped your team with testing or all by yourself. Sorry for many questions. No, we have all been testing it, by the way, but not just testing. Everyone has been using the strategy already for a long period of time. We have endless results, endless testimonials, endless wins, endless people passing their challenges, showing profitable months. I can go on and on and on and on and on. This has been happening for months, also before I went live in the community here, okay? This has been just going on and on and on. We have been doing this already for a long period of time here. The reason why I stopped streaming for a while was to build these guys up. Because I felt that if I build them up and I come back to the streams, I have much more, I have a, more proof of concept, much more people with good results. These guys wouldn't be in here streaming every day if it wasn't for them being successful and seeing improvement. At least show me a closure or something on the 15-minute. Show me a closure below that low. At least that. That's all I'm asking. Show me a closure and I'm happy. Alex, did he take the trade or is it just demo? No, this is just demo. We're going to do a giveaway at the end of this stream for the guys that are interested. We're going to give away 25k Fund It Next account, Fund It Next challenge if you're interested in it here. We're going to be back at least doing some giveaways here and there. Why not? Let's be in a good mood here. Yeah, let's make that happen, G's. Let's make that happen. In terms of the trade is literally holding around, not closing below that level here, sticking. Dollar has difficulties pushing higher. So yeah, like we talked about already. I mean, this is gonna range. This is gonna range. What do you need to do for the giveaway? Number one, you need to follow me on Instagram, okay? Because I literally, to be honest, my Instagram is pretty new. I haven't been doing much with IG in the first place here, but we have been trying to build it, and it has been growing, and we have been seeing some success with it, and it's a great way of keeping you updated and to show you some strategy, tactics, or whatever. So you definitely follow your boy on Instagram. All right, the link's in the bio, so make sure that you will check if you followed us as well here. Anyways, besides that, at the end of this stream, we're gonna do the giveaway for Fund It Next, and we'll figure out how we exactly can do that. But we might need to ask Uncle Nightbot for some help here. Secondary, make sure that you like this video, this live stream as well. We have been taking a large break. It's summer. We decided to come back in the summer times. It's not the best moment to come back, engagement wise, but we don't care. We're here going to be anyways. We're going to prepare you guys from Q4. Q4 is where it's going to be. Q4 is where it's at. So this is all a build up towards a beautiful quarter. Desmond, my guy, got paid out and paid back to the community. Lorenzo helped me. Shout out to you, my friend. Desmond indeed received multiple payouts through our assistant, through our strategy. I'm very, very proud of Uncle Desmond right here. My guy, Desmond, right here. I don't know with how many passed another challenge. Nice. Yeah, keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. You're killing it. You're absolutely killing it. That's amazing. Do you trade the minor pairs? No, not really. Only the major pairs, Euro USD. Only the major Forex pairs. Gold. Silver, oil. Sometimes indices. Sometimes Bitcoin. Most importantly, currencies. Major pairs. So dollar pairs and gold usually. Did we see the closure? We didn't see the closure. We didn't see the closure below. We closed right above it. Lorenzo, did you come to Singapore recently? I think I saw you. How do you know that? I was in Singapore a couple weeks ago, yeah. I was in Singapore a couple weeks ago. That's true, that's true. It's actually crazy that we didn't got that we didn't exited this trade here. It's actually really interesting that price flipped again. And we put our stop loss on break even and it never came back. Singapore is amazing. I always go to Singapore because it's 2 hours away from Bali. I live in Bali, but I go to Singapore frequently for a couple reasons. Business, medical reasons. So for a hospital visit or whatever, which is very rare, but anyways. Yeah, that's actually the reason. Or transit. What is your target on this trade? The Sunday open. Okay, the Sunday open or the previous daily POC, but I would say the Sunday open right here is a good target to exit. It's a very good place to exit. Lorenzo, what happened to your hair? Nothing. I woke up like this. What matters the most? That this next 50-minute candle closes below the 117.29999. Otherwise, it's done. It's game over. If we manage to create a massive wick again, I give up. One lesson that I definitely learned over time, which I think could be extremely valuable for you as well, is the understanding of your stop loss placement after large wicks appear. A lot of people think they now have to place your stop loss above the wick. That is definitely false. Previous historical data is sometimes still utilized. Yes, the wick goes through it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that algos or bots or market participants, larger market participants, do not care about certain price levels anymore. Okay, so for me, putting my stop loss above the wick just because it's above the wick doesn't make any sense to me. I would still utilize the exact stop loss that I would utilize beforehand. And that is above this range right here. Stop loss is already moved to break even. Yes, told you guys already why. Just market conditions, etc., etc., etc. Deterna says sometimes price has a lot of stupid stuff and still hits TP. How did you manage that emotionally, like right now in your trade? It's very simple, Jitendra. I believe in my strategy. I know what I'm trading. I know where I'm doing it for. I feel that I have full control even when I lose. As long as I feel that I have control even when I'm going through a losing streak, because I have so much faith and trust in my strategy, it's really hard to get me off track right now, to be really honest with you. Losing a position is not gonna make me worry about anything. I mean, if this is a 56% win rate, right? It's like, that means I'm pretty much losing an X amount of trades. I'm losing at least 4 out of every 10 trades on average. Like in this, there is a winning streak where I had a 70% win rate or 75% win rate, but I also had a losing streak, right? So this is why my average comes down to like a 56%. I'm trying to get it up to like 60%, to be honest. But hey, I'm still making money, right? This is where risk to reward comes into play. And this is why profit taking TP1, TP2 is not going to work for me. It's just not going to work for me. So I rather stop out than taking small take profits. I would feel worse if I would take a TP1, a TP2, than if I would get stopped out right now, to be honest. Because it goes against my data and what I know works better for me. What is the logic behind the trade? Well, we already went over the trade quite deeply, but you know, the thing about this is we never close below the POC here, which is a major sign that buyers are not in control. We never closed above the 117.5. That was a major tell sign. We reclaimed, we closed below the fixed very low again, and we flipped the candle. So it was a clear entry. We're in higher time frame supply. We created a higher high, a lower low, lower high, lower low, and now a lower high. We tried to enter on the break and the flip for a new lower low. And that lower low is supposed to be the Sunday open. OG trader Lorenzo, what do you think about Umar Ashraf? I absolutely adore him, like the GOAT. Trade Zella, yeah, he created it. It's amazing. I mean, he's a great trader. I've seen his work, order flow guy. He waits for price to get to a certain level, right around a key level here. He looks at the data, he looks at the order flow, he looks at aggressive buyers versus sellers. He starts seeing if buyers or sellers can take control, watching the footprint charts, and then he waits for certain entry confirmations for these quick trades right there. It makes sense, but again, people think it's that simple. The reality is he also has a extremely good understanding of the higher time frame, which most people forget about. So yeah, I think he's great. I definitely like to watch his content for sure. Quick sniff around the dollar. Dollar is breaking. Dollar is holding. The dollar is reversing, actually. That's pretty clear. Mario says, doesn't get more transparent than this. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, trading live, there's nothing wrong with trading live, right? Honestly, trading live is the best thing possible. I mean, it is great. I must admit, sometimes, even for me, right? It does have an impact on my trading. It can have an impact on my trading. I'm not going to tell you that it's just not the case, because it definitely has been in the past, for sure. But the more data I've gathered, the clearer the strategy becomes, the better it is for me to just stick to my rules, regardless of the wins, of the losses. The biggest problem live streamers face when trading live on stream is it's painful to watch them lose. But the reality is that losing is just literally part of the game. I mean, if you have a 2-to-1 risk-reward strategy, then obviously you're going to lose. And you're going to lose a lot. But many live streamers, they hate losing because it doesn't look good. It doesn't make them look good because they understand that their audience is very tunnel visioned and doesn't fully understand what you're talking about. So some of them collapse under the pressure, and some of them will end up taking profits at 5 pips. I'm not going to call names, but yeah, that's just the reality. How did he came up with the custom chart formula on the dollar? This custom chart formula is fucking crazy because I'm not sure if I can actually do this on stream, by the way. Can I do this on YouTube? It probably gets glitched. It's a glitch, I guess. It probably gets nerfed, honestly. I mean, it's only 400 people, so let's just say it. Right, this formula pretty much allows you to show the real-time futures chart of the dollar, which you normally would pay like what, $200 a month for. This chart right here is the official dollar chart. It's the best chart because you can draw the fixed range volume profile accurately. However, the official one here has a 10-minute delay. This custom formula allows you to have that same chart, but without a delay. The way it works, it is pretty much the euro, the yen, the pound, and the weighing of each one of those combined. Gold dropping, gold breaking down. Like I said before, guys, stronger dollar, not worth longing gold here. Not worth longing gold here. Not today, at least. Not today. I'm not shorting it either in a major trend. I just leave it for what it is. I just leave it for what it is. But the dollar was stronger. No reason to short gold here. Or to long gold here, sorry. Anyways, what do you guys think about a giveaway right now? Let's do it right now. And then after 3 hours of streaming, I will be closing down the stream. We are heavily in profits on the USD, obviously. You know what to do here. So that party is done. Let's do giveaway. Let's start giveaways here, okay? First things first. Follow your boy on IG. We're growing my channel. All right, we're building this shit up. Finally, it's been really slow. We're getting there, okay? Secondary, let me use it right here. Let me do it right now. How does this work? I actually need to figure this shit out, guys. Sorry. I need to know how this works. Random number. Keyword LTA, man. That's it. You're right. That's it. What do you sorry, what can you win? I can't show you right now. Or I can. Wait 1 second. I will show you right now. You will be winning a $25,000 Funded Next challenge. Funded Next is one of the biggest prop firms in the space right now. They have been consistently growing. They have been, regardless of all the bad press around the prop firm industry, they have been continuously growing and scaling. So, you know, follow the big guys, right? For now, FTMO is one of those as well here. You can win a 25K challenge on the Stellar Step 1 or Step 2. You can decide whatever the fuck you want. We can go over it together as well if you want to. 25K right here. On the CFD chart here, okay, it's a CFD broker. Is this the right one, by the way? Just to make sure. The fee would have been $200. $200. $200. All right, that's no joke, my friend. That's no joke. Shout out to Funded Next. And if you're trying to buy a challenge and you're getting involved into the CFD platform space, then by default, go to the description. Let us benefit from your challenge by clicking on that link right here. Use code Limitless for discounts, etc., etc. But anyways, time for the giveaway. Let's set it up. Let's make that shit happen, and let's get everyone involved here. Next, keyword LTA, remove spammers. Okay, remove spammers. So one time, starting I guess right now. Type in LTA one time. We pick a winner randomly. It's pure randomness. It is pure randomness. We're getting closer and closer to RTP here. So that is another important layer. All right, that's a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio in a nutshell. That's how we win. That's how we make money. Okay. 100 entries. I think that will do it. Let's go. Back to giveaways. Haha. Mr. Ramund Genovi. Raimund Genova, congratulations, my friend. An absolute pleasure to have you on the live stream. Welcome back to the one and only LTA Concepts Trading Warm-Up live streams. Send us a message on Discord. All right, I'm going to find you in the chat, or my moderators are going to find you in the chat, and then we will figure it out. And we're going to ask you some questions to verify, and then we got you, bro. We got you. We got you. Congratulations. Euro almost at TP. We can wait a couple more minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you guys regardless. You guys know exactly the reasoning behind it. The reasoning behind the trade here. Daily supply rejection. Yes, it was a bit messy today. I do agree with you. But it was worth the setup regardless, okay? DERC. We talk about this in our book all the time. Right here. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation. What do you see here? Consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation. You then break below the next range. This is the next range on the left side of our screen. We pull back into that. Yes, it was a bit messy around news. It was worth it though. You clearly saw the rejection here. The dollar broke out towards the upside. The dollar bounced from 12-hour demand. The dollar closed above what we call the previous daily POC. That was our entry confirmation on the euro. Right here short. This was our take profit. The Sunday open. Okay? That's going to be a W in the chat, please. Okay? Now it's worth it. Now we can say the W in the chat. Why? We're not going for the 2 pip moves, okay? We're going for the 2-to-1 risk to reward ratios. Ronak, my friend, is live here. That's amazing. Okay. Anyways, guys. I want to see you tomorrow again. We're going to do the same thing again. It is going to be a day before the CPI. We are fully aware of that. Okay. However, if we get a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, that means we are up 2R. You know what happened last week? Up 2R. I lost the trade the day after. Down 1R, net profit 1R, okay? It couldn't go wrong anymore. If you win the first trade of the stream or the first stream of the week, you win a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. We're pretty much set for the rest of the week already. Anything above that is going to be a bonus. So that's going to be awesome, okay? We have PPI tomorrow. I think this is extremely important. So, you know, please pay attention to this as well. A couple things that are still going to come. So, yeah, we'll see how the market runs and what we're going to do next week in order for us to set ourselves up for the week after, which is going to be the FOMC here. All right, September is all about the preparation, all about getting ourselves ready. I want you to get fully in touch with the LTA Concepts Trading Warm-Up. I want you to download it. I want you to study it. I want you to backtest it. Don't just take the streams for granted. Really put in the work. Like the guys in our Telegram channel are doing all the time here. They're putting in the work. They're constantly talking, asking questions, sharing setups, sharing their wins, analyzing their wins, making sure that everyone is on the same page here. If there's one thing I've learned, is that everyone understands each other. Everyone is trading on the same exact frequency. Okay? I think that's what we're going to do here. So anyways, that's it. I'm just looking for a nice exit. That's all. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, guys.